Hello, freak bitches. But
Hey, I did want to ask something. So, when you're growing up, was there pressure because your dad was Clint Eastwood? Did you? And then you said you wanted to be an actor. You knew. Was that? I know we're going back to it, but I was just
yeah,
wondering.
that's a good question.
Well, I think I always wanted to be tell stories. I don't know if I necessarily knew I wanted to be an actor. I think as I get older, I realize it's more about telling stories. I just sort of fell into the acting. I was like, okay, well, this could be a way I could get in. I could go into that.
So you just enjoy the entertainment process, like creating something that people are going to be entertained by and enjoy?
Yeah, exactly. Telling a story that people can relate to, laugh, cry, whatever.
Do you think you'll go the route of your dad and like maybe do some directing and writing and things along that? Yeah. Is that the plan?
That's the plan. That's the plan. Taking control of your own career is good, and it's also you tell the stories you want to tell.
Yeah, we were talking about this before the podcast, that the world of the actor is very difficult. And a lot of people accuse actors of being fake. And I think one of the reasons for that...
Narcissistic, mostly.
Yeah. There's that for sure. But one of the reasons for accusing them of being fake is that they always have to put on the best show, like as far as their behavior and the way they act and think and their opinions, because they're constantly trying to get cast in things. And it's all about getting to people to like you and politicking. And we were talking also about, like, you kind of have to have liberal sensibilities. Like in this town, if you're a right-winger.
Does that go together? Does that even make sense? It seems like they contradict each other. Liberal sensibilities. That seems...
Well, it's one reason that I moved I moved out of L.A. is, years ago. I got sick of... Yeah, there are great people in L.A. Great people, and I'm from California, so I feel has a place in my heart here. But I got out of L.A. because, if you meet 100 people in L.A., you might, meet 95 that are full of shit, and 5 good ones. And I think
you're
that
too
was,
generous.
That's a problem, right? And everyone, I always judge it when I meet somebody and I'm having a conversation with them, and I ask how they're doing. If I meet an actor or something, how you been, or what are you working on? Cool. And a lot of times they're just waiting for their turn to talk. Yeah. They're not even listening to you. Yeah. They're just sort of did you they're not going to return that and say, what are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah, you don't feel like a sincere conversation.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's a big issue with people in general, but in LA, I think this is the magnet for all the narcissists and all the people that want attention and the people that have a hole. They have a hole they need to fill up for whatever their childhood, whatever the fuck it is, and they gravitate here, and then they just communicate with each other the same way, and everybody kind of like pretends to be someone who they're not, and then hopefully they make it, and then once they make it, then they just become some fucking weirdo. Just it's weird how many of them are like almost like cookie cutter, like, oh, I've met that guy before, he just looked different. You know what I mean? It's like the same person living a different life. I know
Someone
exactly
got lazy
what this
on the
is.
assembly line.
Yeah,
of people.
Yeah.
They fell asleep or something.
But the actor world is like, I've met a lot of comedians that are similar, but they vary so much. But the actors, boy, there's a lot that are super similar. Just a lot of, But then again, you'll meet some of them who've like figured it out and made it through, and they're super normal. And like Adam Sandler is one of the nicest guys you've ever met in your life.
Really?
Oh my God, he couldn't be nicer. Totally. Like if you didn't know he was Adam Sandler and you met him, you'd be like, it's someone's dad. Yep. Fucking super normal dude.
Yeah,
Tom Hanks.
He's incredible.
That's what I heard.
You said super normal. That's what people say, because they ask me, how's Scott? Seems normal. So that's why you're like,
you must not know me yet.
That's like the best compliment for an actor.
Yeah, it is, because an actor is like, I don't know. So who am I to say who's normal, right? But to me, he seems like a normal guy. And you said Adam Sandler was completely normal. So that's kind of puts it in perspective.
Yeah. What I mean by normal is like you could talk to them and they're really there. They're real sincere.
Present.
They're present. They're having a real conversation with you. And there's a lot of people that just don't do that. You talk to them and they're just putting on some, hey, how are you? Good to see you.
I definitely don't trust people who are too nice. I'm like, why are they so nice? Like this isn't right.
Yeah, sure.
It's just a tough world for these people anyway, especially with the ones that haven't made it out here. It's so psychologically devastating because you're constantly going on auditions and you're constantly getting rejected. So you're insecure in the first place, and then you are hoping someone likes you. So you go to this thing and you're kind of like putting on your best behavior and you're dressing good and like, hi, pleased to meet you. All right. Hey, thanks guys. Thanks for the opportunity. You leave and they don't like you. They're like, they said you sucked at the audition. What? I didn't suck. Yeah, they just really didn't like you. They said you didn't make eye contact. Fuck. And and people get weirder and weirder. And if you meet an actor, say like 1 year, and then you meet them 10 years later and they're still swinging and nothing's happening, they might be like almost ready to crack.
Yeah.
Like
right on the verge.
Right at that falling down with that Michael Douglas, when he's got the briefcase and he goes in traffic, starts shooting people.
Yeah.
Like they're like a couple of days before that. They're like
just on the breaking
they
line.
Can't
Huh?
take it anymore. It's a fucking devastating business, right?
It's tough. But like I mean, we were talking about before. It's all built on hard work and your reputation.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, and you get a reputation for being an asshole or showing up late to work or this, that, and the other, and everyone's gonna know about it. It's a small place, LA.
Or being a diva.
Being a diva.
Diva's that's a big one, right?
That's not a good adjective. For
you can't shake that one.
Yeah.
That happens to people, like in Hollywood, they'll be doing a lot of big movies, and you hear like, "Oh, she's difficult to work with," and then they just fucking disappear.
Sure.
They just whoosh. And it almost seems like Hollywood delights in shutting those people out.
They're rooting for you to fail.
Yeah. They kind of. But when you prove to be like ungrateful in some way, or you don't like, here's a perfect example. Well, he kind of made it on television, but do you remember David Caruso? When David Caruso was on NYPD Blue, everybody was like, wow, this guy's a great actor. And then he quit NYPD Blue when it was this massive hit show, and then went and started doing like some real shitty movies.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, why the fuck would you quit a big show like NYPD Blue and do a bunch of movies? Like, boy, I hope he fails. And then the movies failed, and then everybody's like, ha ha. And then he never did a movie again. You never saw him in a good movie. Like he had this trajectory of this amazing career.
Yeah.
Then he became this caricature, because then he was doing that stupid cop show where he would take his glasses off and say some stupid pun. Well, it looks like he got nailed, and he'd take his glasses off. Remember that? It was like CSI Miami or something like that, and it was a fucking caricature of a cop show.
Yeah.
Whereas NYPD Blue, when he was on it, was groundbreaking. I mean, it was fucking fantastic.
So what happened?
He became I don't know.
What?
I don't know who
Was
he
he
is,
a
but
diva?
he became recognized as a diva. Whether or not he was actually a diva, I don't know the guy. You'd have to meet him and talk to him and hang out with him. But he had that stink. And you get that stink on you.
That's the other thing too. Is it's not even in Hollywood. It's not even what's true. Sometimes it's just perceived. My dad used to always say, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. And that always stuck with me, because you sit down with people in the industry or whatever, and you just hear a lot of Hollywood is gossip, right? It's full of gossip queens. Everybody wants to talk shit about someone they worked with, or tell some story and tell how difficult somebody was, or this, that, and you don't even it's just a business built on it's just a house of cards. You're like, well, how do you even know that that's even true?
Right.
And so it's kind of fucked up. It's I mean, I don't feel like that happens in other businesses, but maybe it does with coworkers. I don't know.
Maybe it does. It's also it's a weird thing, because when you're a movie star like yourself and you're on the screen, like, you get all the adulation and all the love. There's a whole crew of people behind you.
Yeah.
There's special effects people and lighting and sound, and it's directors and producers.
Guys like Jamie.
And young Jamie. There's 100 people to every one that's on the screen, right? At least and so,
and they get no love.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
They get no love, and that's where the business side of the business is so delusioned, because the agents and the people around it, they're not the ones there, putting in the sweat every day for 5 months to make a film. Right. Pulling the creative ideas, pulling the hard work, the grips, and all the guys who are underpaid and are working just to make money to feed their families. So it's interesting, because I saw it from a very different lens. I saw it from my father's lens, which is my dad, show up on time, get the movie done, shoot it fast, treat everybody good, and work with the same people over and over again, do the right thing by people, have integrity. whereas people don't see that side of the business. There's so much other stuff that people never get love for in the film industry.
Yeah, well, the long hours. That's another thing that people don't understand. If you're on a film set, like what's an average day for you?
It could be, a short day is a 12-hour day. So it's, 12 to 16 sometimes.
And how many days a week you working?
5, 6. When you're on location, you could be in a movie that's doing a 6-day work week, or you could be doing a 5-day, but by the end, everyone's doing a 6, sometimes even, you're just putting in full throttle to get the movie done.
Now, when you're on location, do you have to squeeze a workout in to keep your brain sane?
Yeah.
How do you do that on a 16-hour day?
I try to do it during lunch because I find that if you go to lunch, you get sluggish after lunch,
right?
And then you're going, oh well, shit, I got to get back in there, and do this. Now I got to hit the coffee, or I got to hit the whatever to get stimulated.
Cocaine,
get back
right?
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
just a bump.
Are you a meth guy or a coke guy?
But mostly meth.
Just a bump to get the head straight.
Just a little bit. Woo!
But yeah, so I think working out during lunch seems to be the best thing for me, because I don't do well in the mornings for a workout because I feel stiff. So I like to get the blood going first. If I can hit it during lunch, even if I'm on set, I'll do whatever, dumbbells, this, that, and the other, and then I'll get some endorphins kicking.